Mike's damage control isn't working. Yeah, I can already hear it.
Here we go, another guy piling on.
Cool, call it what you want. This isn't about hate, it's about trust and how fast you can lose it when your whole brand is honesty and then you start spinning. Here's a short version. Solomon Nelson puts out a new breakdown on Mike's PhD situation. It's already doing numbers. A few 100,000 views out of the gate because he brought receipts and kept the tone surgical. No screaming, no memes, just documents and timelines and side-by-side files that raises real questions. Mike responds across clips and podcasts. He jokes, he minimizes.
But you knew it was wrong.
Oh no, I didn't know it was wrong until it was surfaced to me 12 years later.
Somehow every appearance making it worse. And this isn't just about whether the paper was good. It's about whether the defense makes sense, because you can't be the evidence guy for a decade, the details matters guy, and then hand wave your own details the second the camera points it back at you. That's the most damaging thing. And it isn't even on paper, it's a pattern. Someone brings up a file, they say there's these problems, and then Mike comes back and says this guy's associated with bad people, or he has bad intentions, or he just wants views. Okay, but what about the details in the video about the file? Say one thing confident and then you walk it back like a joke, dismiss a critic as biased, then pivot the whole thing as this is a bad faith attack. It's the oldest internet playbook.
Solomon was doing this in maybe some combination of bad faith. Like he just really wants to take me down.
We're pretty much numb to it. Here's what people actually notice. They notice a file name and a date match in a public website. They notice when that wasn't final, quietly becomes, okay, it was, but it's not the point.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
They notice when comments get clipped, dislikes disappear, replies feel like a PR instead of a person. That's why damage control never works on YouTube. People see right through it. And because the platform is built on vibes and not press releases, people can see right through it. You can survive being wrong, you can survive being slippery, but let's talk about the draft angle for a second. If the paper was a draft, say that once, clearly, and show the real thing. If the goal was bottom 10th percentile, own that with context and humility. And humility, humility, and humility, 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 humility. Don't smirk like it's a dunk. Oh, I gotcha. No, yeah, I did it. Here's why I messed up, and here's what I would do differently. That's how regular humans talk. That's how trust recovers. He still has a chance, but instead, he just covers it up. And instead of doing the right thing, it's this weird half apology tour. One thing, it's bad on purpose, and the next is that this is a witch hunt and they're only after me.
I don't think he's a trained scientist. He's not really after the truth or after revealing wisdom or anything.
And then it's the my critics don't understand research.
All love and respect, but there is a spectrum of sport coaches' understanding of anatomy and physiology.
That's not science, that's circle defense, and you're beating around the bush. And no, that's not hating. There's a lifter with a camera telling you why the audience is checking out. People followed Mike because he made complex topics sound solid, and he is very entertaining. Genuinely, I enjoy his content, but now the ground under his feet feels a bit mushy, you know? That's CL. It's not the PDF, forget about the thesis, it's the trust. If you want a model for what works, it's boring, radically boring. Like, so out of this world, Mike probably hasn't thought of it, but I wrote this a long time ago, it's not good, I own that. Here's what I missed, here's what I learned. No memes, no blame, no gotcha the other guy, no, so it's just a human taking the punch and staying on his feet. Because the second you treat your audience like they won't notice the hedges, they notice everything, and everything comes back to light. They rewind, they screen cap, they quote you, they compare clips. The internet never forgets, and you can't fool anyone. But let's zoom out for a second. This isn't a one-channel problem. This is a evidence-based fitness bubble colliding with 2025 on YouTube. For years, credentials could carry you. My mom all the time, she'd hear stuff from Facebook and she's like,
hey Natter, this is good sounding stuff and it's coming from a doctor.
And then when I look at it, it's something that I've never heard of before. And then when I look into it, it's just false information.
It's totally made up.
pure fiction. It's fiction.
No matter what the source is, if you're wearing a lab coat or PhD and you got, 12 sources next to your claims, you better let the audience decide. For years, credentials could carry you. You got your PhD, you got your lab coat, maybe some big words, and then you got one editor with a timeline, and 12 sources can put your story next to your claims, and you let the audience decide, and they will. And they are. When the response to that pressure is, trust me, I'm the expert, it backfires, regardless of the response. When the response is, I didn't read it, but that guy's a punk, it backfires harder. It signals that the castle is more important than the truth. And you know what actually plays? Transparency. The messy, specific kind. The kind where you admit the embarrassing part, you owned up to it before anyone else can pull it up. The kind where you show the second page, the footnotes, the emails. That earns patience, and that buys you time, and it keeps your community happy when the heat shows up. But here's why this matters to people who don't care about academia, because credibility bleeds. If you cut corners on your story about your credentials, the audience assumes you're cutting corners when a supplement sponsor needs a favorable review, or when your friend launches a program, or when your company is on the line. The little lie poisons the big truth, and no, right most of the time isn't a shield. You don't get rollover minutes on honesty. Every new moment has to stand on its own. So what do I think Mike should do? It's simple. Stop defending the brand and start defending the facts. Bring all the documents, own what you wrote, explain what went wrong without minimizing it, without side shifting to who it's coming from. Separate from I messed up from my critics are mean, because audiences can hold two ideas at once. This creator has value and this creator messed up. They won't hold this creator keeps dodging. Let me talk to you, like creators, for a second, including myself. You can't edit your way out of a trust issue. You can't thumbnail your way out. You can't collab your way out. You can only tell the truth earlier than when people expect and cleaner than your ego wants. I'm not saying this from a pedestal, but I'm saying it from someone who actually trains, posts, and gets things wrong in public sometimes. It's hard. Like, I'm not the most articulate person on YouTube, but when I present my information in a very honest way and I'm relatable, that matters more than having credentials or trying to be right all the time. I've had comments clowning on my head shape, my reps, my takes, whatever. Say what you want. If I filmed a bad set, I'll show it. That's how you sleep at night. That's how you build a channel with a spine. And there's another layer that no one wants to admit. A lot of us grew up trusting the smart guys because we were sick of the fake hardcore crowds, especially back in the day when influencers were like on steroids and they were like, I'm natty. And we still have those these days, but the dudes screaming about failure who never filmed an single honest rep. And you've probably seen the dudes screaming about failure but have never filmed a single honest rep. And I've seen some fake failure sets. We ran to the research because it feels safe when someone says it's backed by research. Even if it's like performed on soccer moms, we're going to feel safe about it. But now we're learning the same rules apply to both sides. Intent matters, honesty matters. If your rep isn't real, your volume doesn't matter. If your story isn't real, your citations won't matter. This is why this moment stings. Not because of a PDF that was mid, but because the fix tried to be clever instead of clear. Tried side shifting, tried manipulating its way out. But what would winning look like from here, in my opinion? Not reputation chess, not sharks, not asking your friends to defend you, and definitely not calling every critic a clout chaser. Winning looks like a long, boring community post with everything attached. Winning looks like a video titled, "What Did I Do Wrong?" with no sponsor and no cuts every 2 seconds. Winning looks like answering the strongest critiques instead of the dumbest comments, and then shutting up and getting back to work. And if you're still watching, here's the part people will twist. So listen close. This isn't a takedown. It says a reminder. Your audience, or the audience you built the truth with, will only keep choosing truth when it hurts you. And if you're a viewer trying to make sense of this, do what you'd want to do with training. Watch the full set, look for struggle, look for form breakdown, look for someone's face who looks like they are being reborn when they're working out. If you see that, trust it. But if you only see swagger and shortcuts, you know what it is. I'm not perfect, I'm not famous, I'm not above mistakes, but I'll never ask you to ignore your eyes. That's the difference. Show your work, admit your gaps, be specific, fix it in public, own up to it. That's the only way that plays out well. So yeah, if you need a label, call this piling on. I'm fine being the guy who says what everyone's feeling but didn't want to say it first. It's not fun. I think it's necessary, but I think Mike can come back from this easily. Not by winning arguments, but by dropping defenses and just being honest and say the line that no one expects. I've made this worse. I'm done spinning. Here's the full story. Here's what I learned. Hold me to it. Let the documents talk. Let time pass. Let people heal their wounds. Because at the end of the day, YouTube doesn't need perfect people. It needs honest ones. And if your whole brand is honesty, you don't get to fake it. Not even once. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.